Now that we've seen the demo for operators, let's take a look at strings. In this screenshot, you see some sample code where I have a bunch of red text pointing to specific areas. In this method, I have here on the left a place where I'm indicating that I've declared and assigned a bunch of strings. There are two strings being defined here, one called my first name and another called my last name, where I store my first name and my last name in double quotes. When you have a string in double quotes, it's called a string literal. In the next 3 lines, I'm writing out my first name and my last name and a combination of my first name and last name. Here you'll see that I'm concatenating or combining the string literal first name colon followed by the variable my first name, which contains a value with my first name in it. Similar to that, I'm also writing out my last name using the variable my last name. And finally, over here, I have my first name and my last name being printed out together side by side. In between my first name and last name here, you'll notice that I have a new line and a tab. These are special characters indicated by \n and \t. A new line moves the next word over to the next line, and the tab character will push it over one tab space. In the next paragraph, you'll notice that I have my full name being written out as concatenating my first name and my last name. I can write the variable my full name as is, or I can change it to all caps by simply adding to upper right after my full name. This shows that any string can be made all capitalized simply by adding a dot followed by to upper. You can invoke a method to upper on any string. After that, we have string.format, which allows me to concatenate strings and variables without using the plus symbol. So now I have 0 and 1 in curly braces, which indicates variables that are followed right after this formatted string. So if I had another variable after my last name, I would have 0, 1, and 2. So starting with 0, you can have any number of variables inside your formatted string. In the middle, we have string builder, which lets you build a string over time using the append method. So here I have a string builder variable called sb for string builder. I have sb.append several times where I'm adding my first name and a space and my last name. Finally, when I'm ready to print it out, I can say sb.toString, which converts it to a string so I can print out the contents of sb. The reason I would use string builder is if I'm appending lots of strings to other strings, it's better on your memory to use string builder so that it doesn't keep rebuilding your string and destroying the string every time it appends new strings to it. So just to recap that, a string is something that's called immutable. So every time you add a string to another string, it starts deleting the string and rebuilding the string. By using string builder, you can avoid that. Next, we have what's called a character array. An array of objects or primitive types can be anything which is a sequence of objects and items of the same type. In this case, we have a character array, which is indicated by char followed by square brackets. The character array, in this case, I have a variable called name array. To get the name array, I'm taking my full name, which is a string, and I'm using the toChar method to convert my full name to a character array and assign it to name array. Next, I would like to see the contents of name array. So I can use a for each loop. For each can be used to iterate through collections or arrays. In this case, I have name array as my character array, and I'm looking through every letter in name array. I've decided to call that variable name letter. So when I print out console.writeLine, it's going to print out every letter one by one. So the thing I've done here is I've converted my string to an array of characters, and then I've looped through each of those characters to print it out. At the very bottom, I have some string functions. These methods here, replace and substring, allows me to replace one letter with another letter. In this case, H is replaced by the letter T. And finally, I have the substring method, which takes a piece of the string and then puts it into another string. In this case, I'm going to start at the second character, and I'm going to take just 3 characters. So the second character doesn't actually mean the second character because we start off with a 0 index. So when I say 2, I'm starting off with my first name, S-H-A. In this case, S is the 0th character, H is the first character, and A is the second character. Let's take a look at a quick demo to see what this looks like.